Thank you so much for tuning in to me again. I am your tribal teacher, helping you to help yourself and your family move forward into the 21st and 22nd century. We're using life skills, we're using life talk, daily encouragement, tips, and all kinds of lifestyle expressions and explanations to help the young people to get themselves together as they move forward into their own life's journey and into their own life's choices. So today's story, we're looking at menacing as our keyword, and we're looking at expectations as our focus. Now we have a young lady. She is from upper class. She has been attending private schools. Her name is Miesha. She's been at private schools from she was knee high. Her parents are professionals, and she has self-esteem very high, self-respect very high. She has self-confidence very high. She's the only child of a gynecology daddy. He's a gynecologist, and her mother is a psychiatric nurse. Now, Miesha has been given every single privilege that any privileged child could have. She was placed in private setting. Her parents are there, both of them together. She knows right from wrong. She knows she could talk to her mom, who is a psychiatric nurse, and her dad, who is a gynecologist. They have done everything possible that any human family can do to protect this child, to talk to her, to share with her, to counsel her, to spend time with her. And they have. They are what you'd call model parents. Miesha, however, she knows her parents love her. She has no problems with self-esteem, no problems with self-respect, no problems with her self-confidence. She is a wonderful young lady, but she was born with her own type of personality, and she is now experiencing puberty in full bloom at the age of 16. Miesha goes to very selective places. Her parents do supervise her. They have cameras around the home. She knows how to get in and out. She knows that she's being watched. She knows that she could talk to her parents should she become in any way shocked, spooked, or scared of any type of encounter that she might have. Her parents are there for her 100%. They are always there for her. She knows how to reach them. They've given her all the electronic tools that she'll need to get a message to them real fast. Now, Miesha has a side personality that she does not show to her parents. She loves boys. She told her mom once that there was a little boy named Mike who she had just met at her school, and Mike is like a geek. He is a guy who does not really pay attention to his physical attractiveness nor his physical needs. He's a young man. He's about her age. And she, though, feels, she says, Mom, can there be love at first sight? That was how she mentioned the conversation to her mom about Mike. Her mom told her all she needed to know. She talked to her, as she's always done, about many situations, about varying types of scenarios, and Miesha does listen. She considers her mom her best friend, and yes, which is a good place for a mom-daughter relationship. Her daddy is there, and she loves her daddy. She would not do anything to offend him or to hurt him. But again, she has these hormones. She's in puberty, fully blooming. She knows little boys, and she's attracted to Mike. She asked her mom what she could do to prevent herself from grabbing Mike and kissing him and loving him and squeezing him up whenever she finds herself alone with him. Her mom has cautioned her that maybe Mike is not interested in her that way, and indeed he was not. But Miesha, being a very determined young lady, she presented herself to Mike with a way that Mike could not refuse. And yes, Mike consummated the relationship by having sex with Miesha leading him on. Now, remember I told you Miesha's mom is a psychiatric nurse. Her dad is a gynecologist. Miesha knows about every single form of birth control. Everything that's available to her was made available. Her parents asked her to go ahead and do whatever she wanted to do, but with protection for herself as she moved forward in her lifestyle and in her life's journey. Miesha knows even about research materials that the public doesn't know about in safe sex behavior. But Miesha and Mike being led by the nose by Miesha, he and her having sex as many times as Miesha could coerce him into getting with her. Miesha had a single-minded goal of becoming pregnant. I don't know why. Her mom doesn't know why. Her dad doesn't know why. But when you look at Miesha, pregnant at 16 with a little guy who's Mike, who has no idea what he was in for when he ran into Miss Fast Miesha. Miesha, knowing that she had the key to make her decision, which fork in the road will she take? Is she going left or is she going right? Miesha chose to go to her own desires and make her own desires force her into doing with Mike what she considered her naughty bits. And in her naughty bits, she did become pregnant by having unprotected sex with Mike. And Mike was just so elated to have been exposed to this type of behavior early, and he was right along there with her, even though Miesha was not concerned as to whether or not Mike was going to be her longtime lover or her baby daddy or her boyfriend. She just wanted to have sex with a person that she felt that she could not control herself around. She told her mother, though, with a tip. Her mother figured out what was happening. By then, Miesha is fully pregnant, and she kept it on purpose from her parents, and her parents were so disappointed in her. Miesha chose to be pregnant. Miesha knows about birth control. Miesha has not had any kind of depravity in her life. She lives very well. She's educated very well. Her self-esteem is on top of the game. Her self-respect is good. Her self-confidence is way up there. Yet she chose to become pregnant by Mike because she said she just wanted to know what it was like to have a life growing inside her. Abortion, of course, was never going to happen. The family did not encourage it, nor did they suggest it. They had prepared Miesha for whatever challenges might have occurred in her life. She wanted to have a child at 16, and she chose the young man who she was going to be procreating with. So here's her daddy, a gynecologist, and her mom, a psychiatric nurse, wondering what did they do wrong. Sometimes, as a parent myself, sometimes you have to realize that love is not enough. What else could her parents have done? Where would you say, you watching me right now, where would you say that her parents went wrong? Did they do anything wrong? Or is she just a single-minded, stubborn young lady with means to get and entrap any young man who she zeroed in on and has her eyes on? She did it to Mike. And yes, she is pregnant at 16. Yes, she's going to keep the baby. Yes, her family's feeling disappointed. But what could they have done differently? What could they have done differently? We are open to suggestions. We're open to discussion. The idea of this story is to show you that there's not always a situation happening that blame is in the game. There's no blame in this game. As I spit out this game at you, the game is children getting enough information to move forward in their lives with good decision making, and also knowing that there is a future out there and that they were here and in life for a reason. She, Miesha, chose pregnancy at an early age. She did not tell Mike what she was up to. Her parents equipped her just in case she would feel comfortable coming to them with anything and everything, and they did spend time with her. Lots of time, lots of snuggle time, lots of comforting talks, lots of education, information, factual situations. So Miesha was just determined to do her own thing. How could this outcome be different? Could the parents have asked her to tell him when she's having sex? Could the parents of Mike have equipped him to handle a fast girl like Miesha, a fast, rich girl like Miesha, who was determined? There was no animosity or anger in this. She chose to be pregnant. She wanted to have a baby. The problem is Mike did not know that he was going to be the focus of her attention. So her parents, being a psychiatric nurse and a gynecologist, they did not know what to do. They were thinking, did they do something wrong? Do you think they did something wrong? Do you think they equipped Miesha sufficiently for her to make her decisions on what she needed to do with her life? Do you think by her having this baby that her parents are going to back away from her? Perish the thought. They are going to stand right there beside her. They'll ask her if she needs to go back to school after the baby is born. They will make sure Mike's parents know about it. They will not blame anyone. They're fully equipped to support their daughter in her choices, and they can offer suggestions of adoption, but I don't think she's going to be going that way. But that is up to the parents to step forward and say, okay, you have chosen to be pregnant. We know we gave you all the information. We know we have been there for you. We know we have lots of snuggle time. We know you can talk to us. You know you can approach us on everything. We have exposed you to every single race, religion, and relationship. We have given you and equipped you very well with what you needed to know to make your decision. And when the time came, you chose not to scam and jam, but you chose to throw a scam, knowing fully well that unprotected sex would lead to pregnancy. So, you parents listening to me right now, what could her parents really have done differently? Do you have that kind of child who is really stubborn and hell-bent into doing her own thing? Despite what you have said, despite all of the amenities you've provided, despite all the scenarios that you've provided, what could you have done differently? Do you find in your heart that you might blame her? Blame her for what? She chose to be a young mother. She is equipped to manage the child. She won't need any help from the social systems like welfare or any of that. Her parents are professionals. They live very well. She can have the child, and they can get a nanny to raise the child, and she can go back to school and take care of herself and her future. But what advice would you give to Miesha that this would prevent this scenario from happening? This story was real. This story really happened. What different outcome could have been done with Miesha being an intelligent, smart young lady, well-informed, with parents who cared, with parents who were there for her, with parents who have equipped her with the knowledge, the information, the skills that she needed. And now her life has turned towards teenage pregnancy at 16. What would you have done differently if you have this type of child? Your comments are appreciated. Talk to you soon.